Morning all. How are we all doing? So my phone's going mental this morning. It's done a software update and it's just do at me constantly all morning for some reason. Obviously catching up on stuff. Right. How are we all doing? Morning Seymour, morning Ladder, morning Stevie, morning Frank. Hefty pre-market moves on the DAX. Oh yeah. Blimey. Right. So today, my plan was, I've got two DAXs set up with the ORB this morning. So my plan was today, excuse me, to trade the 15-minute opening range breakout. But I'm not sure I want to trade it if it's a huge range. Mind you, if there is this much volatility before the market, we might have a massive volatility at the open. The whole idea of the 15-minute preset, the one that I've just set up now, excuse me, is to go for a fast reward. So I've got two trades going in with $100 risk. One of them is going for a 1.5 to 1. The other one's going for a 3 to 1, all using 25-point trailers, which kick in on tick with a break even of 25 as well. Although there's no point in having a break even of 25 because it's trading 25 anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'll try it this morning. It's going to cost me $200, possibly $400, isn't it? So I want to test it live. Morning, Henry. Morning, Freeman. Morning, Diamond. Morning, Dances. Somebody's posted in the group about an indicator. The daily sessions indicator, and it's drawing boxes on the screen. It's not one of my indicators, so I don't really know what that is, but I guess it's some setting in there. Which one was it? Settings of the daily sessions. That one, isn't it? Blimey. I haven't looked at this for years. You can draw I guess you can draw text on and it draws the range on something. I don't know. I don't use it. So I use it, but I don't use boxes. I'm not interested in what the range is. That's irrelevant to me. I use ADR. Don't use the range of the Asian session. Doesn't matter unless you're trading the Asian session. I'm not trading the Asian session. I trade market structure and exhaustion. So if you're trading this, I guess, and you will only take trades if the range is less than 50 or something, then yeah, you need to know what the range is. But I don't do that. I think that's part of BTMM, isn't it? Yeah, because it's a Steve Melrose indicator, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Steve Melrose work time. That's his indicator, isn't it? So therefore, it'll be something to do with some kind of shark fin above Asia or something. I don't know. I don't know. Right, yesterday, quick recap. Actually, let's start with the news. We got 5 minutes to the open. So yesterday we had GDP figures out for the US, which were better than expected, but still down. So mixed result, positive and negative, not really given any bias. US dollar had a bit of a rally yesterday. So we had a bit of what looked like... no, it wasn't a rally. Sorry, it was a drop. We had a bit of a drop on the news, pushed back up again, looked like it was starting to rally, and then it tanked. So US dollar Swiss pumped. Oh no, so it did have a rally. Yeah, I was right. I thought I was right. US dollar had a rally. Canadian dollar had a bigger rally, which is why US dollar CAD came down. So it all kind of unwound though towards end of day. So a bit of a confusing result, as you'd expect, because it was mixed. So No real advantage or disadvantage to the US at all there. So I've not really made much difference to the scorecard either. So we can ignore that one. We've got PCE this afternoon. So PCE can have an impact. It's a bit of a hit and miss, this one. So it's to do with inflation. Basically, you can read the notes if you want to. It differs from CPI and it measures goods and services targeted towards and consumed by individuals. So it's a dumbed down version of CPI inflation. So it is important, and we do quite often get a reaction to it, but it's not really a leading indicator. So it will have an impact if it comes out as very big or very small. Otherwise, you'll probably find you get that sort of thing, which is not any use to us at all. So we'll see. But that's all we've got literally at 1:30. So that's before the market opens as well. So it's not going to affect index trading. Then we've got pending home sales afterwards, which is irrelevant, and University of Michigan, which is the revised version of the previous University of Michigan. So again, there's no news today, basically. Nothing overnight of any interest. Japan, Netherlands, and green to join the United States in chip curbs from China. CPI came out from Japan, which is up. So their inflation is going up. Doesn't make any difference. They're not going to increase their interest rates. They never do. So inflation is pretty much irrelevant. We've got Chancellor Hunt today. I'm not quite sure what time it's scheduled for, but he is going to be announcing his roadmap for the UK moving forward. So it's a bit like a budget, but nothing to do with finances. It's a kind of levelling up agenda, if you like, as to how we're going to improve our economy in the UK. He's putting out a plan, basically. What do you guys think of this type thing? So there might be something in Hunt's speech today that so it looks like the speech might actually be already out. They may have already leaked the speech ahead of it, but yeah, he might say something in there that the market either likes or dislikes today. There is a lot of talk of taxes going up, and again, taxes going up is not going to be good for spending. That's going to bring down GDP and all sorts of stuff. So I find it very difficult to believe that Hunt will be able to say anything bullish about the currency, but you never know. So we'll see on that one. Right. So I'll go through yesterday in a minute. We've got 1 minute. We've got 20 seconds to the open. So I just want to watch the open. So the right-hand side is running the normal 15-minute opening range. The left-hand side is running the 15-minute pre-market opening range, which is there. So this one is designed to catch a quick move. So the propulsion candle. And I'm trying to catch 2 to 3 propulsion candles at the open. And then when that move is played out, this one will take over and trade the sentiment. So this is designed to try and capture and capitalize on the opening cash balance move. However, it's a 20-point move this morning. So it's fairly big in comparison to what we normally see as a pre-market opening range, which is the idea is you can easily grab on one candle, a 1.5 to 1 out of that. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that today. I think I may have picked probably the worst day to test this. So I'm short the DAX. I'm short with low confidence. We'll see. Morning, Henry. I've already said morning, Henry. Morning, Azza. Oh, I've got to put a tablet in. Ugh, water. I got a huge jug of water and I drank with an isotope tablet in because I drink. My New Year's resolution was to drink 2 litres of water a day as a minimum. But obviously, that brings your isotopes down. So I've got isotope tablets, and I'm really used to drinking tropical water now. When I drink normal water, it's like, ugh, why is there no taste to it? Oh, and it's got the most annoying lid in the world. Get on. Right. So you can see my TPs. TPs. Why is there 2 TPs down there? One of those should be a 3-to-1. Well, I got 4 trades on. Why have I got 4 sells? Why is that one trading the same? Oh, what's going on? Why have I got... so I'm just closing those 2 out. 2 of those out. I've closed the wrong 2 out now as well. One of those should be there. These are running on separate magics. Why has that duplicated that? Why has that duplicated that? Oh, I need to bug test that. Why have I taken 4 trades there? That's confusing. Something to test later. Why did you take 4 trades? Oh, yes. Maybe the logic there is tricky. Okay. Yeah, I might have to tweak that. First time I've run 2 versions of the EA on the same instrument. All the joys of live testing, yeah. Daily DAX isn't giving much clues as to what to expect. No. You can't really use the daily for intraday anyway. But it was giving clues here. I'd say there you could probably say I'm definitely a little bit more short than long. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, remember I said about that control candle yesterday on the DAX. So we're looking at that control candle, which I drew in here. A bit difficult to see now when my orders are on the screen. Yesterday, we actually managed to break out of it. Look, just broke out of it. But that was the control candle. So in theory now, on that basis, that is now our control candle because we have actually had a break. But the break was so minimal. If you look at the previous highs, we didn't break the previous highs when we closed. So it's still indecision. There's still absolutely no idea. The market's just not got a clue where it wants to go at the moment. So right, so that theory, that was a cock up. That shouldn't have done that. But anyway, them's the joys of testing. So yeah, I'm going to stop out on these 2. I think this needs to be a bigger range, a smaller range, I think, for this strategy to work. You see how this strategy works, basically. What we're doing is we're literally trading the initial cash balance 5-minute candle. That's it. We need, because we know it's always big. Yeah. So that's what we're trading, basically. And this strategy is basically we want it to be a candle that just goes one direction strongly. And if it does that, we will make money. And I had an opportunity to take it, but I'm testing it properly. So there you go, stopped out. So break even on those 2. Close that one down. I need to also then close those because those are part of that. I'm not doing that. There's 4 positions placed. It's duplicated my positions for some reason. I need to think why that has happened. I don't understand. So this should be. I'm assuming this is going to work now because it's. It thought it was that EA, but it wasn't. So this is trading the 15. So there's your 5-minute in. So if you want to trade the 5-minute ORB, that is your range. Again, today, fairly big one. Big 5-minute range. We had big pre-market, so you got 35-point opening range. That's a biggie. So be careful with that. Just to quickly cover yesterday. So yesterday, basically, I dropped $500. A little bit of that on the NAS, wasn't much. 150 or something, not a lot. But I closed out yesterday one of my euro pound trades. So, which was this one. So this one here, basically, I closed one of these out as a buy. From there, it got to an ADR, and I'm not convinced on this trade, this euro pound long now. We basically, I don't like this move. And that fade that we came back down, and what I decided to do yesterday was take one more with the EA to see if I can rally it back up into there and then get out of the position. And it's on its way there now. But I didn't want to hold this whole position, so I closed that one out basically, and I took a couple of $100 loss on it. I had a small position on there. This one was a bit big. Again, I screwed this up. I took a manual trade on it, and then I got the EA to take a trade on it. And the EA got confused basically because I told it to do drawdown, and there was others in there, and it was a mess basically. So I thought I'll do one more. I'll let the EA take that one, and I'll decide this morning whether or not I want to get out based on the price action. This morning it's moved up, so I'm holding at the moment. We're in profit, but I'm not convinced on this euro pound long anymore. So we had a good bias on this euro pound, but we haven't anymore. We've got caught on side, but no sentiment, and the fundamentals are fairly mixed on it. So because I lost that retail sentiment, I kind of decided actually this might not go our way. And the other thing that worries me about this one today was the fact that Hunt is talking, and if he does say anything bullish, we could have quite a big move on the pound down. Well, pound up obviously, and euro pound down. So I just wanted to drop some risk on it because the EA wasn't managing that position, and I couldn't be bothered really to do drawdown control on it because it was literally $200. So I got out of that. And the CAD Swiss as well, I exited one of those with a partial, which was that one. So I took a partial on that. That was a 0.7, so I took $100 loss on that. And look at how I took that loss, everybody. Mr. Broker, again. Yeah. Price never traded anywhere near that, right? And the thing is, right, look at where the candle closed there is, right? Look at where I got closed out. I got closed out on the last candle of the day, yeah? So it means that they widened the spread on the last candle of the day by 10 pips, yeah? Nearly a quarter of an ADR. This is not even an Aussie or a New Zealand pair. So basically, this is downright theft, isn't it? That's not slippage. There's no slippage at that time of night. This market trades 24/5. It is open literally every second of the day, apart from the swap. But what they decided to do was at the swap, spread it, for me, what looks like 326 points. So 32 pips. So half an ADR. They spread this instrument by half an ADR in 10 minutes. This is why you don't use stops. You can't win. You can't win this game if you use stops. So yeah, never traded there. I would have got stopped out of it this morning. That's fine. I didn't get stopped out. It's only a partial. It's basically it's a drawdown control scale out. It's not a stop out. But the EA triggered because the price was up. So, you know, bloody criminals. Anywho, you can't do anything about that. If you want to trade in the retail world, you have to be in with the crooks. That is your only choice. So yeah, so stopped out on one of those. This is getting away a little bit, this CAD Swiss. And again, the CAD Swiss was a sentiment trade. So we have still got sentiment on side now. So CAD Swiss is a short. I am short. We have retail completely long on it. If you look at the CAD Swiss, yeah, this thing has been 90% long or thereabouts. You know, we haven't got much further than, I think it was 17. I think I saw that go to. So 80 to 90% of the market has been long on this thing now for days. But what has happened is we've had that push with the Canadian dollar, obviously. The news event pushed it. Since then, we haven't managed to get really enough traction to the downside. So yesterday we had a nice big push down. I'm looking for this to come down harder than that. So don't mind it up here. We'll take another one if necessary. But still like this is a lovely short. Just the Canadian dollar at the moment has strengthened up, which is what we were expecting because it dropped on positive news. So you'd expect it to undo that move. We haven't had any Swiss franc strength, so it's just not on side at the moment. So I took a little bit out of that, so dropped 500 there, but that's not a problem. It's only 0.5%. Aussie New Zealand's coming down nicely. Still in that one. Waiting. Been waiting for 2 days. Still waiting. So targets on this one, I've only got 2 positions on it. First target is that low. Second target is propulsion, which is ADR today. So looking to move down there. Euro pound, as I said, I want to get out of this one this morning. I don't like it. This is going to be the one that's going to run, obviously, because I don't like it. If it goes, you know, I'm giving it an ADR today. I don't think we get there, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'll probably close it out way before then. In fact, what I might do is when we get to that initial position, I'll close this one and let that one become a runner with a tight stop on it. Pound US dollar, again, waiting. So I've been in this one now for what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days waiting for this to move. It hasn't. It's just, as you can see, I've been banking, partial drawdown control. So I'm way in profit on it. I need no more than half an ADR to bank some more, but it's just not going anywhere at the moment. So I'm hoping this afternoon the US dollar is going to power up, and I'm hoping Jeremy Hunt is going to come out and say something really nasty about the pound, and we're just going to collapse. So TP on that, and that's that little funny thing I took yesterday just to demonstrate the fact that it doesn't matter whether you hit the button if you're position trading, because it's inconsequential the amount of money I'm trading on it. But that's the propulsion gap that I'm targeting for that position, which I class as one position. And then I've got these on here, which I'm targeting back down at the lows, which is 125 ADR. So if we get a strong US dollar this afternoon on PCE and Jeremy Hunt decides to tank the pound, I should be out of the pound US this afternoon. And US dollar CAD, that's a new position. Just took the one position on that one yesterday. And it's obviously we had that big move which undid itself, and then we pulled back down. And so yeah, just waiting on that. Strong Canadian dollar at the moment, so as soon as the CAD starts to weaken, we should be okay there. ADRs, let me just see what's happening with the DAX. 15-minute range is in. So that's I'm just trying to think why the EA doubled up those orders. I've got a feeling it's ignoring the magic number for some reason. Why would MT4 ignore the magic number? Don't know. I have to think about that later. But yeah, so 15-minute opening range is in. So that was actually quite a nice pre-market today, actually, wasn't it? If you'd have taken the 5, you'd have been much better. But yeah, so that, you know, that's the idea. You want to be in and out really in that candle, unless that candle is solid, and then the next one is just like that. I think the way to do that is with a trailer. That's a much better strategy. As you saw with the trailer, you hardly lose any money. So. Dances. I drink 2 litres of Coke Zero a day. Been drinking past 20 years. I'm not sure 2 litres of Coke Zero is particularly good for you. I know it's got zero sugar in, but it's still, I don't know. Not sure. Morning, Brian. Holy spread. Yeah, that was a nasty little spread, that. New York seems to only take GU longs these days. Yeah, you're right. So every New York session, apart from that one, every New York session, pounds gone up. But so I want to be down here and out by the time we get to the New York session. This is part of isn't this part of Steve Malraux's strategy? I did BTMM so long ago. I can't quite remember it all. Isn't this the New York reversal? So if you have a down session in London, more often than not, New York reverses it. Isn't that? I can't. Yeah, look, see, it's a New York. It's a New York reversal. So it's quite often it will do the opposite to London. That seems to stick in my head for some reason. I don't know why. I might be making that up, but right. How hard would it be to extend the fundamentals page with oil, copper, and silver? Very hard because they don't have fundamentals. Well, I could put them on. Yeah, I mean, I could put them on from a COP perspective, and sentiment. If there's enough sentiment, silver probably not. Silver is very lightly traded. I don't think you'll find much volume in silver. What am I doing? That's not what I wanted to do. Don't give you volumes, do they? You'll probably find there's confluence with gold. But yeah, I mean, I could do silver. Do you know what? I don't think I've ever in my entire trading life opened a chart on silver. I've never ever looked at it. It's just not something that's traded very often. So the thing I would worry about with that is the sentiment to be good. The sentiment works the best on the highly liquid pairs. So the majors, obviously, of all the $7.5 trillion odd dollars of FX transactions that go through every day, more than 50% of those transactions are on the majors because the majority of transactions are done in US dollars. That's the world's currency. So therefore, all the major crosses, which are the US dollar crosses, get over 50% of all transactions. The lighter the volume, the lighter the liquidity, the more slippage you get. So the heavier the volume and liquidity, the more sentiment plays an effect because you've got more traders in there. So you've got a higher pool of data to get an average from. When you start looking at things like silver, where very, very few people trade it, 78% long looks pretty good. Something like gold, you'll have, I don't know, maybe 500,000 traders on that at the moment, giving you that percentage. On that, if you've only got 50,000 traders, that's not a very good picture, is it? It's a very light window of of data, a very light view of that market. So I'm not sure about silver. I can try it, but it's not something I would get involved in, really. They do quote it, though. It's just a shame they don't do volumes. I'm just trying to think, is there a Ducoscopy. Do one of these. One of these gives volume. There we go. Sort by volume. Sort by volume. So what is silver? It's let's go to the bottom. So here you got all your exotics. Look, all the exotics that nobody trades. There's no volume on them. XAG, isn't it? Is that silver? I just don't trade it. XAG. Silver. Right, there you go. So look at this. Look at the volume, right? The volume on silver is down with the exotic pairs that no one ever gets involved in. See what I mean? There's no volume on this. So you'll find that the sentiment view is going to be very light. Yeah. If you've got 25 people trading US dollar SEC, half of them are short. You don't. That 25 is too small a pool of people to take an average from. Even worse than New Zealand dollar Swiss. These are the Swiss franc pairs. It's interesting. They're down there. I don't know. I might have a look at it. We'll see. Right. Anyway. So no movement on the DAX so far this morning. I'm just concerned about losing some of this Aussie New Zealand because it's quite close to my average. And I've got quite high lot sizing on this. I'm tempted to take a little bit off of this. $2, $3, $4, $500 there, haven't I? No, I'll leave it for the minute. Right, so looking at ADRs today, there are none so far. Oil would be good to trade from time to time. Yeah, copper was just a personal wish, as I trade that more often than gold. Yeah. Oil, I've considered putting oil in. What I don't want to do, though, the trouble is the way that I've set all this up is for Forex, yeah? So I've set the system up for Forex, especially the directional bias. So a lot of the data you see throughout the whole thing is driven from this table. This table, when I put gold into it, obviously gold doesn't have fundamentals. It hasn't got interest rates, inflation, GDP, or unemployment. Yeah, so I have to put zeros in across the board here. If I start adding other instruments, again, that don't have this on, this board is just going to become oil hasn't got fundamentals. Silver hasn't got fundamentals. Copper hasn't got fundamentals. So I'm filling this data table up with stuff that is just pointless in being in there. I have to have every column in there just to get cotton retail. So I don't really want to ruin my work because of copper that nobody trades. I have to say, Ladder, you're the only person I've ever met in my trading career that ever trades silver and copper. I have never met anybody else that does it. So oil, I can understand. A lot of people trade oil. But I don't know how many people trade them. Maybe we'll do a poll and see what other people want to see. Because the whole idea of this is following the fundamentals of the currency pairs. We've got 28 of them. You don't need to trade copper and silver. You've got 28 pairs which move on a daily basis more than they do. So, you know, you could do it on crypto and all sorts of stuff, but I don't know. I'll have a look. I'm open to suggestions, but I've got a lot of work to do. I don't know if I've got the time, especially with COT. COT's a nightmare to try and get together. Anyway, let's do this analysis. ADRs, nothing there at the moment. Weeklies, we looked at all of these yesterday, so they're pretty much the same. Nothing much has changed on the weeklies. Aussie dollar CAD, from Monday, which is here. Let's go out one more so we can see it. So Monday, there was your ADR, 125 ADR high. We came off of that, lovely. We actually came off of ADR on that as well. So ADR was 185. So if you'd have taken the, sorry, AWR is 185. So if you'd have taken the weekly on Wednesday, you'd had a lovely trade. If you took it yesterday, you had a lovely trade. You've missed it now. Aussie dollar Swiss, same thing. If you took it yesterday, lovely trade. If you took it the day before, which was here, 199 on a 188, you would have obviously, depending on how you trade, if you were position trading, you'd have been in and out. Lovely. Aussie dollar yen, again, that was the same from Monday. That was yesterday, Wednesday. Lovely trade. Aussie dollar New Zealand, I'm in. So I'm still in this one. We hit it there, pushed down. So I got in on that. And obviously I've added a second, looking for it to come back down into propulsion. So that one's still kind of on the table at the moment. We just had the hourly on that this morning, which is nice. Euro odd, that's a push to the downside from Monday, which is there. So that one you had a good trade on Wednesday, but it has pushed back down. So this is pushing back into that area that I highlighted. Oh, look at that for a beautiful bounce. So Euro odd. You've got COT on side, but retail off side on that. So Euro odd, obviously, this is the support. So we got this triple bottom support. First time back there for 2 months. Beautiful reversal alert there on the hourly. M15 reversal alert has just played out, just retested. So literally that last 15-minute candle in. That's really nice long Euro odd. I'm already on it. I think I said this yesterday, didn't I? I'm long Euro, I'm short Australian dollar. So in effect, I am long Euro odd already. So like that a lot. That's a really good entry as well. Beautiful W, everything. It's just lovely reversal alert. Created a propulsion gap. It's retested the propulsion gap. Hit the button on it, basically, Euro odd. Let me just screenshot that quickly. Just going to post that in the group. Where are we? I haven't got a link for these. I've got loads of templates I'm setting up for posting stuff, and I haven't actually got one for trade ideas. On M15, right, yeah, so that is nice, that Euro odd, like that a lot. And we've also got pound odd, which probably, yeah, just had a reversal out on that one as well. So pound odd retail sentiment is short. There's no COT bias on it at all. So you know, it's been that all week. So it's been a short all week. It's still a short at the moment. So not really doing much, that one, is it? you're kind of contracting a little bit in a very wide symmetrical triangle there. So looking at the size of the Asian range, yeah, if you look at symmetrical triangles, basically are contraction patterns. So if you look at the Asian ranges, yeah, so there's your Asian range, second Asian range, third Asian range, London range so far. Yeah. This is getting ready for an explosive move. So you've just had a reversal alert long on this. So the retest of it will be a break of that high, basically a break of the reversal alert again. So you'll get your arrow there. You've got that propulsion gap, which hasn't been tested yet from that accumulation break, which is 125 ADR. So to me, that's the trade today on the pound odd. However, you are trading against, you're trading with retail, basically. So you're trading against the retail side of things. So tricky, that one. Just don't know what to do with that. So, but that is a weekly, obviously. So the reason we're looking at it is because the weekly range has been extended. So the trade on Wednesday, it pulled back. And since then, we've just been contracting. So it's ready to revert, I think. But obviously, you get one or two things happening. You get a pullback, profit take move, and a continuation, or you get an accumulation, propulsion. Because bear in mind, obviously, that is where the sentiment is saying to go at the moment, because retail is going the other way. But there's no cop bias. There's no directional. The market hasn't got a direction on this pair at the moment. Look, yeah, cot is neutral. Hence, we are going sideways because there is no currency that has a bias, a pressure bias at the moment to drive this in any direction. So that's why we're going sideways. So we've broken down. We are more bearish. Moving averages are turning red. Yeah, I would say this is more of a short than a long. So I'd be a bit careful with it. But it is contracting. You know, if you want to, you know, don't forget the reversal alerts indicator for a minute. Get market structure. If you want a nice, easy trade on this today, pending under the low, pending above the high. If this is going to do a momentum breakout, a symmetrical triangle break. Whoops. Yeah, if this is going to do a symmetrical triangle break, it has actually just broken. So that is the proper way to calculate, which is what my indicator does, is calculate it using Fibonacci extensions and retracements. So you've got 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 sits within points 3 and 4. So that is the contraction point. The breakout of those trend lines is what you usually see. So we have actually had the breakout to the downside. However, I would say that's still contracting because we haven't broken that low. So when you're trading symmetrical triangles, the proper way to trade them is you trade a break of level 4 and level 3. This is all explained on the website in the symmetrical triangle, how to trade symmetrical triangles. But that is where you would typically put your pending orders. And if you look, those levels 3 and 4 coincide pretty much with the Asian low and the Asian high today. So the symmetrical triangle indicator would be telling you to get in there and there, which is not far off it, is it? So the strategy for symmetrical triangles, as I say, is to use pendings on the break. So pending order under the low, pending order above the high. It's going to go one way or the other, isn't it? What you want is a propulsion move to start it, because if you get that propulsion move, what normally happens is a retest drop. You retest the propulsion gap, don't you? So let's say that is our Asian level of the symmetrical triangle. There's your propulsion break. You would retest it. So your stop up there is totally safe. As soon as you start that move down, you can move to break even because market structure will carry it on. So yeah, looks good. I don't know which way it's going to go though. You know, that's trading, isn't it? You've got 50-50 shot. It's going up or down. Don't change the board lead. Leave it for Forex only. Yeah, I don't mind adding stuff to it. I just didn't envisage putting any other instruments in it. I built it for Forex. And then someone asked for gold, and I was like, yeah, that's okay. We'll put gold in. And then I thought, oh, I can't put gold in because there's no fundamentals, so I did it anyway. But if I keep adding, obviously, I suppose what I could do is draw in the fundamentals for the US and invert them, because it's a cross, isn't it? So if I pulled in whatever the US, yeah, but I can't, because this is all calculated through the differentials, and because gold hasn't got anything, and there's no differential to calculate it with, so there's just no way of putting a number in there. You can't. It doesn't work. That's what the differentials are there for. They are how you calculate the biases. The difference between the interest rates is the differential. The differential being a positive or a minus is how you get the plus and minus scores. So because gold has none of this, you can't do it. Anyway. So that's all of your AWRs covered, your ADRs covered. There aren't any today. DAX, we're going long. Straight into resistance. So that means US dollars potentially having a bit of a weak spot. RSIs, there's not a lot to look at today on the RSIs either. Aussie dollar, US dollar. So this morning, obviously, the RSIs are fairly flat because we had quite a contracted day yesterday. So Aussie dollar, US dollar on the 4 hour is extended. So let me just put that over there, and put that over there, and that over there. So you can see that like that, and then I can do that, and that, and that, and that. So 4 hour RSI extension, very big, strong push. We got extended and embedded on kind of Wednesday-ish, and we've stayed there basically. So there's been no profit take whatsoever on this move. So I would expect some kind of profit take move to begin. We've got US dollar news this afternoon, which potentially could move that. Bolanley, how about the announcement? What announcement are you talking about? W2 would be really make me happy. The rest of just cherry on the cake. Yeah, I might put oil in there because oil. I do look at oil, and I kind of like. I don't have any idea how well oil reacts to sentiment. I'm still very confused as to what the hell drives oil, to be honest, because it's certainly not barrel counts, is it? News doesn't seem to make any blindest bit of difference to oil direction whatsoever. So I'm not sure how much it's manipulated. As I say, it's not something I've really traded. I only started looking at it last year. So I'm not sure how well it reacts to sentiment. But we can put it on there and we can test that, can't we? So yeah, Aussie dollar, US dollar. At the moment, we're sitting in a contraction at the minute. There's no real directional bias whatsoever on this one. So this one, it could be a accumulation, contraction, continuation. Don't know. We had a reverse alert on it yesterday to the downside, then it reversed back to the upside. So the market structure, as you can see, is range bound. So it's very difficult really to tell where this one's going to go. This propulsion gap hasn't been tested yet. So usually price will come back and test most propulsion gaps at least once of a decent size. That's not a propulsion gap because it didn't break the highs. So that I would say is probably target for the downside, which isn't far at all. We're looking at that as a pullback. So as a profit take, you'll find that is probably 38 retracement, which is a shallow pullback. Yeah. So there is your ADR. There's your 38 retracement. So coming back into that propulsion gap or potentially a profit take move is viable. So that's really all I can see on that Aussie US from there. From a fundamental perspective, Aussie dollar, US dollar is a big sell. So you've got COT on side, fundamentals on side, but retail offside. So at the moment, retail are all shorting it. Yeah. So you see what I mean? This is how sentiment works and why it works so well, I think. you've got all the fundamentals and the big market participants wanting this thing to go down. So you've got retail all being short on it. So the market is resisting because it needs liquidity. Where's all the liquidity? Up here. Yeah. So although they want this thing down, fundamentally down, the market is positioned short on it. Retail keep longing the crap out of it and putting their liquidity up there. They need to get there to get it. So all the time we've got liquidity sitting up there, this thing's going to go, it's going to struggle to make a strong move to the downside. When they all jump ship and go, all right, yeah, no problem, we'll go the other way, but it'll start to collapse. So at the moment, it's a difficult one to get an idea where it's going to come down to. And I think until we get some sentiment going the other way, we're probably just going to sort of do that ever so slightly, start to channel down maybe. So difficult. I'd be looking more for shorts than longs on it, personally. But you know, it's been pushing very, very hard because we've got that US dollar weakness and we've had that massive Aussie dollar strength off of the news. So hard one really to sort of put your finger on a bias on that. The other 4 hour we've got is Euro odd, which is a lovely long, as I've said. So yeah, looks great. That's the 4 hour RSI extension. Divergence on that as well. RSI divergence. Just had the reverse alert, out of support. The reason this is bouncing though is because of the limit orders. So obviously the world and his wife, you know, this is why support and resistance works. Everybody can see this. Everybody can see this. So what is everybody doing? Going, well, next time it gets down to there, I'm going to be interested in longing it. So what do? They put limit orders in place. So what happens when price gets there? The limit orders trigger. That's why support and resistance works, because of limit orders. By banks, institutions, and us, everybody. Everybody sees the same thing. So the limit orders have triggered. Whether or not this is right to be buying it, we will find out. But this bounces because of the limit orders. So it will either find more buyers and support and it will go, or it won't. And that is where you start looking at things like this to see whether or not there is a bias on your side with market participants. So Euro odd. We know from a institutional perspective, there is a long bias on it. However, that long bias is waning. So looking at it here, it's range bound at the moment. Yeah. The market COT is long. Again, got retail offside on it. But their fundamentals are very, very mixed. So there's no advantage long or short in it. So it can go either way. And it can go either way quite substantially for a period of time. Whereas these, you'll find, will be much more difficult to go that way because there is a much stronger sentiment by fundamentals and everything else to go one way, which is why I say, you know, when you're looking at this, the reason I built this was that so we can easily identify what's the best stuff to be on at the moment. Forget the stuff that's unsure. You've got 28 pairs to pick. There's good 10 or 12 here, which are pretty good, aren't they? So why trade all the crap? Trade the stuff that is more likely to move in your direction. So at the moment, there's no bias on it. So anything without a bias on it, I would say you want to come over and look at the combined sentiment. So if something is a range-bound bias, have a look at where the market is likely to go based on what everybody else is doing. COT and retail. Pound New Zealand's just flipped again to another short. It's just been updated this morning, 8 o'clock. Pound New Zealand's flipped short again. So there's another one to have a look at today, potentially. It's coming down already. So yeah, nothing much of interest there, really. We've got CAD Swiss as well. We know about CAD. I'm short CAD Swiss. Coming down nicely. Have I just TP'd on something? No. Did I not have another CAD Swiss one up there? I didn't. That's coming down nicely. It's good. Look at that. It's just criminal. Look, I know I'd have to take. I would have been out anyway, but the fact that they got me out before price got there just bloody annoys me. Can't win. DAX breakout is failing dramatically. Choppy at the minute. What's the upside target? And also, can you categorize the probability of the euro odd trade and why it works out so well? AI will help with that, like including what ChatGPT found on it, on gold and oil. We can find out what miners' cost of production and current demand for gold. OPEC announcement for an outlook. Lanley, I have no idea what you're talking about, mate. Sorry. What's the upside target? And can I categorize the probability? Right, the probability is 50-50. It is on every trade you take. Somebody tell me otherwise. I'll hold up one of those boards. Prove me wrong. The market goes up and down. What's the probability? 50-50. Prove me wrong. That's your probability. On the euro odd trade, why it works out so well, I don't know. I think you need to go and watch the bootcamp, mate. Go onto the website, go to trading education, go to position trading bootcamp, watch these 5 videos, then come back and ask some questions, because at the moment you're talking nonsense. I don't understand what you're talking about. Sorry. Maybe it's just me. Euro odd, right? The probability of euro odd going up is 50%. The probability of it going down is 50%. There is no other thing. The only 3 constants in trading are up, down, and sideways. That's all that can happen. The strike rate, if that's what you're talking about, as to whether or not that's going to go and fulfill your trade, is dependent on where you've placed your stop loss and where you've placed your TP. So I can't answer that question because I'm not you and I haven't placed a trade. So I don't know about that. The probabilities of bouncing off of support are sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. No idea. Which supports and resistances are you using? Everything you're saying is completely random, yeah? As is the market. You need to understand that when you press that button, there is no one in the universe, and for God's sake, don't try and get an AI to predict market direction. You might as well use astrology, mate. It's the same thing. It's complete nonsense. AI has got nothing to do with where the market's going. It has no money. It can't put in money into the thing. It can't inject 100,000 euros in this thing right now to make it go up. Yeah. So forget AI. It can't help you in your trading. Again, prove me wrong. And all these people that are selling neural network and AI driven EAs out there are all con men. And if you fall for them, you're a knob. Sorry. I don't believe in any of it. I can't believe it. An AI. There's no such thing as an AI that can trade. Anyway, I'm moving on. I do like it when people like you come into the group because it does provide entertainment. Next, so we covered all of those. There's nothing else to look at there. Well, I'm being a bit harsh this morning, aren't I? But come on. Morning, Tom. Right, so let's have a look at combined sentiment for today. So see if we've got any opportunities for longs and shorts intraday. At the moment, there's not a lot changing. If you look at the historical, I'm not going to go through all the historicals, but with all the US pairs very much holding where they are, hence us having a fairly static week, if you like, for the last couple of days. The last few days have been pretty sideways on most things US. So there's not really any changes in any bias whatsoever at the moment. The combined sentiment keeps flipping a little bit long and short on the ones which have got COT bias. So the only ones I'm really interested in, you can trade any of these, obviously, but so if you wanted to trade COT, if you wanted to trade the strongest, the very, very strongest and weakest, you need to be looking at the 5s and the 6s. So these are the ones where you're going to have COT on side, big players, and you've got sentiment going the wrong way. which gives you that extra edge that they are likely to go and hunt their liquidity in the direction they want to go, which means the moves will tend to be stronger. That's basically what it's all about. So there's only one at the moment, which is the same one we've had all week, which is New Zealand dollar CAD, which is your strongest buy out there at the moment. And it's given literally all week, if you've traded this all week, it's given you an opportunity every day, every single day to make profit. Not so much there yesterday, but if you'd have got in yesterday, you had an exit in Asia potentially. So for scalping intraday, it's been an absolute goldmine, but it's not going anywhere at the moment. So we've had this thing with the Canadian dollar, haven't we, where it's just stuck at the moment. We had all the news coming out and it reacted the wrong way to the news, then it's corrected it. So it's a very difficult one at the moment. But from a combined sentiment perspective, this thing has been literally all week. Whoops, CAD. A lovely long, because the entire place has been short on it. So I like that as a long intraday. The only other ones you've got is New Zealand dollar Swiss and Euro Swiss, because everybody's shorting at the moment on the Swiss franc. So Euro Swiss as a long. So again, ignoring the overnight stuff that happened. We had a reverse alert on that yesterday, which was a nice trade. And what was the other one? New Zealand Swiss, wasn't it? So pull back and then long. So again, if this pulls back again today, you've got opportunities to go long. So what we were looking at, who was it said earlier about the Armand, about the New York session taking it the opposite direction for the pound US dollar at the moment. So if we get strong pushes back down in London, New York, so when you're getting ADR hits and RSI hits to the downside in the London sessions, that's what you want to be looking at, is going maybe long in New York with these ones, which are a little bit weaker. Pound New Zealand has been flip-flopping between a -6 and a -4 all week. So it's been a short all week. So where are we? Monday. So you see, I started shorting this last week because it was a short last week as well. So I got that trade on last week, and entry there. A bit difficult to get an entry there, but there was an entry on Wednesday, which is in profit at the moment, but it hasn't really gone anywhere yet. So you can still look for short opportunities on that one. So there's your intradays, the strongest ones. If you just want to look at COT only, a retail only, you can go for the strongest +2s, -2s. So all of these basically are Aussie New Zealand is a strong buy at the moment. However, you've got COT trading against you, so you're trading against the large market participants. Same with the Aussie US. So Aussie New Zealand, I'm short at the moment because when I got in, that was -4 and it still is -4 because it only changes every Friday. And this wasn't a +2. So I'm short Aussie New Zealand, but there's all these ones you can look at as well. So US dollar CAD, for example, nice short. I'm long on that at the moment, but it's a short at the moment from a retail perspective. Yeah. So all the liquidity is sitting down here. So wouldn't be surprised if we come back down to here today, but that will change that sentiment. And when it does, COT will drive it north. So there's a few to look at there if you want to use the website for that. Again, I'm not going to go through every single potential sentiment trade because there's lots of them. And you can use this any way you see fit, really, but mainly for directional bias. But at the moment, because I'm trading at the moment on a funded account, I'm interested only in the strongest possible trades. ChatGPT, create me an EA MT4 EA that gains 1% a day, scalping M5 DAX. Yeah, ChatGPT is brilliant for coding. Awesome. I use it all the time. Yeah, so when I said it's AI is no good for helping you trade, that's not really strictly true, is it? Because it can code, but it can't trade. It can create things that can trade, but the thing with ChatGPT is the same as anything, isn't it? Anything AI related, what you put in is what you get out. It's a bit of a difficult term, isn't it? Artificial intelligence, because it's only as intelligent as the people that program the AI. And AI can learn. That's the whole point of it. It is an intelligence. How it evolves is up to it. But from a programming perspective, it's absolutely brilliant. But I would never use it. I mean, like you just said, Belanley, AI can give an insight on current sentiment. How? How can it do that? Which way should I trade GBP USD today? It is impossible to give an accurate answer. Exactly what I just said. Markets are constantly changing. No one can predict with any certainty how a currency pair will move in the future. Ultimately, it's up to you to make an informed decision based on your own research, analysis, and risk tolerance. I know you're new in here, Belanley, but I've been in here for 2 years saying the same thing. The market goes up and down, moves through time. It's a random thing. You cannot predict randomness. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called randomness. Go and watch these 3 videos as well. These will hammer home what I'm talking about. That one specifically, and that one, and that one. These 3 make up pretty much everything you need to know about how to trade. And they will just basically teach you have got no hope in hell of predicting the future. So get into the market and wait for the market to come in your favor. The market goes up and down. Yeah, like this. The reason you're losing money is because you're using a stop loss. Remove the stop loss and you will make money. Yeah. Because this is random and you are trying to predict a random event. It's like saying standing in front of a volcano and predicting when you need to run away from it. When's it going to erupt? Don't know. It could be today. It could be in 25 million years, for all I know. It's just, you can't predict this thing. So stop trying. Everybody's trying to time the market, and this is the problem. AI can't help you with timing the market. It's got no idea. It's just told you that. I've just asked AI. I've just asked ChatGPT which way I should go on it. It hasn't got a bloody clue. It hasn't got a clue. It's just, and please don't go and buy these. They just annoy me, these people that are creating these AI-based and neural network EAs. They're just con men, and all they want you to do is buy their crap. But anyway, you know my feelings on it if you've been in here for any amount of time. It's all a load of rubbish. Right, I'm losing my Aussie New Zealand. I knew I should have brought that this morning. See, my artificial intelligence didn't tell me to take it off, so I'm losing money now on it. It's going down. Damn the AIs. Which pair are these? I don't know, Desmond. Sorry, I'm behind on the chat. I don't know what I was looking at the time. All the pairs I trade are up in this window here. So whatever I'm looking at, yeah, it's on the screen, so you know what I'm looking at. Diamonds, why are we all here? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if EAs can trade for you, what are you doing here? You don't need me. Hey, for God's sake, I'm a programmer. If I can't get an EA an artificial intelligence to make me money, I don't think many other people stand a chance, do they? I'm sorry, I'm only joking. I just get irate about this stuff. It's just I've just heard this for 15 years. I heard people saying stuff like that for 15 years, and it's just like, oh, God, stop it. My ears are bleeding. DAX, why are we running into support resistance? What's that level I drew on yesterday? Why have I got that drawn on my chart? Okay, so that's Wednesday's high we're running into at the moment. seem to be finding resistance there. No movement at the minute though. So we've got no propulsion gaps either. There's just nothing at the moment to give us any, there's nothing to trade down into. There's only stuff to trade up into at the minute. So it does look good for a long at the moment, but we've obviously got no traction. Quick look at oil. Oh, yes. So yeah, the other things I need to cover as well for this afternoon are earnings. So yesterday we had Visa, Aftermarket, and Intel. We've got Amex and Chevron pre-market today as well. So Intel, where's Intel? Intel, I think, is in the S&P. Yeah, Intel's in the S&P. So that will help. That will aid the Nasdaq a little bit. So there's nothing really that is directly affecting the Nasdaq for this afternoon from that respect. So if we look at the Nas on the daily yesterday, we had another bull day. We broke out highs again. So the bulls are calling the end of the bear run here, aren't they? At the minute. We've got to break this high here. So this is all within an ADR. If you look today, we're getting to scary point here. So here's ADR today, which is that black line. Funnily enough, ADR is exactly that black line, which is a big round number as well, which is that high. So this area here is also the 200 MA if you believe in MA bounces, but ADR. So if we can get a rally this afternoon on the Nasdaq, that's a beautiful sell. Anywhere in here today is a beautiful sell on the Nasdaq, because if we are going to end this bear market, we need to break out of this range. So that is either going to be a sell. I'm pretty sure that'll be a sell today if we get there. But we've got to get there. Yeah. So it's got to put an ADR in Nasdaq. So it'd be an interesting session this afternoon if we can break up into these highs. I might put these levels on as well. So these are the daily levels we need to be paying attention to today, which, as you can see, are not far away at all. So any kind of rally out of the open today, I would be very interested in shorting that. Very interested indeed. But we'll see. People will do anything to keep you from having to learn to trade. Yeah. People are always looking for some magical black box they believe other successful traders are keeping secret, perpetuated by snake oil salesmen. Oh, for God's sake. Here we go, look. Twat. Sorry to swear on stream, but I'm fed up with idiots. Spam. Where's spam? So that bloke basically, thank you for sharing healthy FX signals last week. I Googled it and I joined it for free. Oh my God, I made £1 million. It's only £99 to join. This is what the whole industry's full of. People just trying to rip you off. I'm on a crusade. I've decided I'm on a crusade. I've been ripped off all my life by knobs like that, and I'm just not interested anymore. I'm just going to go all out. I'm going to create videos every day. I'm going to review every indicator on the market and tell you, pick it apart and tell you exactly what it is and how to replicate it for free. That's my new goal, because that's basically all they are. Like we discovered yesterday, the Agimat artificial intelligence is based on the zigzag indicator. That's what it is, a zigzag with a confirmation added to it, which is another indicator. It's all the same stuff. Learn to trade, everybody. I know most of you in here. I'm not talking to most of you in here because you've been in here for ages. So I don't pull my punches, as you know. Oil is the only other thing I want to look at today. If anybody's got anything they want to look at, let me know. Any other analysis. But I've covered everything today. Everything that I'm in, basically, is everything that I want to be in. and everything that I believe is going in those directions. So the only other things you can do today really is look for intraday sentiment and wait for ADRs and RSI extensions. Apart from that, there's not really anything else to look at today. So so oil, we're still stuck at the moment. So yesterday, let's put the daily up. Oil, we had another bull day, but it's, as you can see, not very convincing. So we got these highs, which we double topped on. We're heading here, which is 125 ADR. That's the next stop. But we can't. It's really struggling to make progress. And this is the thing. This is why this is, I think, quite a difficult thing to position trade as gold is, because you get an awful lot of this, and then you get these crazy days where that's where you make your money, or you go screaming into drawdown very, very, very quickly. So that's why I'm sort of in two minds about it at the moment. But we had a nice push up yesterday. We couldn't close above previous day's high. We're in an inside bar. Actually, we're not quite an inside bar because we did break out the lows there. But we're kind of just holding at the moment, aren't we? So we need something to rally this. It's rallying at the moment, but I want to see a breakout of that high and get ourselves back into green territory. Every time we've popped up there recently, we've failed. So we're looking for that market structure to go in on our way up to 107, which is what the forecast is for oil for this year. So obviously going to remain bullish on it all the time, but it's just very difficult at the moment to really find an entry. It's choppy and not going anywhere for days on end, and then we get the big boom. So you've got to be in it. That's where I was looking to get in, wasn't it? Here, I missed that entry, which was back here. So tricky one. I'd be looking for longs, but I mean, it's getting a little bit long in the tooth now. So I've just been trying to get in on a pullback. That wasn't quite deep enough for me. Though in hindsight, obviously, yeah, it was a lovely entry, that one. But that was not a propulsion gap. That was a V shape. So tricky oil. Is anybody long on this one at the minute? David, are you still happy with your VPS provider? Yeah. Yeah, my VPS provider is awesome. Where's my pinned message gone again? Why does the pinned message keep disappearing in the Telegram group? Anybody know? What the hell is going on? It keeps unpinning itself. I'm going to pin it again. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the message, post it again, and then I'm going to pin the one that I've posted. I'm wondering if it's because it's posted by group help. Let me pin that one because that's mine. So yeah, my VPS provider is in the pinned message, which is that one. VPS Forex Trader. Never had a problem with it at all. I've had one downtime in 2 years. Or no, not 2 years. I've been with them. Oh, actually, probably about 18 months, I think. I've had one downtime, which was, to be fair, over a weekend. Unplanned downtime, that is. Obviously, there is scheduled maintenance every now and again, but they always do it at weekends because they're a VPS. Because they're designed for MetaTrader. They never do maintenance any other time but the weekend, obviously when the markets are closed. So the only thing you've got to do with your VPS, which I find, which I only discovered the first time they did it, was when they reboot the VPS. If you haven't saved your profile, yeah, so save your profile. So you set all your EAs up. You need to save your profile as whatever you want. I mean, mine's just default. Because if you set all this up, yeah, and MT4 shuts down, when MT4 shuts down unplanned, it doesn't save the profile. So it loads with the default profile. So all your EA settings that you've done, all the pairs you've put the EAs on, they all disappear. And you've got to set the whole thing up again. Remember what magic numbers you used. I mean, it's not difficult to find your magics because they're on every trade. If you hover over a trade, it tells you what magic number was used, he says. Not doing it. But normally when you hover over it, it gives you a little pop-up. There you go. Oh, that one's placed manually, that's why. But you can see it pops up and it says placed by expert ID 23. So I know magic number 23 is running on pound US dollar. So you can find it all out, but it's a pain in the backside. So save that. If this closes down, when it restarts, it will all be back to normal. Your global variables and everything will all be in there. Everything will be as it was. So you just got to do that. First time I had it running, I had this. This is the signal that runs on MQL5. This is the one that's done 140% or something in the last year or whatever. This was running on there, and that's where I found out it wasn't, because somebody contacted me and says, "Why is the EA not taking any trades or managing the trades?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know." I'd looked at my VPS and it was shut down, and I booted it up and I'd lost all of it. So you just got to be a bit careful with VPSs, but only on planned maintenance. DAX is completely stuck today. No breakout today. We've had some really good breakouts this week. We've had, what, 2 sessions, I think, where we've had chop, and a couple of sessions where we've managed to maybe scrape a small profit. But we're a little bit reluctant at the opens at the moment, aren't we? Right, so that's all we've got for today at the moment. If anybody's got anything else to look at, otherwise I'll be back this afternoon at 2:20 for the New York Open. Just going to manage this DAX this morning, see where we go. If we are going long, might as well just look at where we're going. So longs today, we will be looking at yesterday's high and New York high, which is there. So those are your targets upside to watch. If the breakout obviously happens. So a downside, if we do break to the downside, it's a fair old distance, isn't it? Before we actually get into a breakout short today. But obviously yesterday's low, and it's the same as yesterday. Yesterday's low basically and previous day's low are your downside targets. So that is in a propulsion gap, and that is obviously right down there, 125. So unlikely to hit that. Indices is we don't often get, we have once this week, but we don't often get 125 extensions on indices. It's quite difficult. We need earnings basically to get indices all the way down there. So, but we'll watch that one, see how we get on there this morning. Other than that, I'm just managing the positions that I'm in. Aussie, New Zealand. We'll continue looking for that low basically from Wednesday. CAD Swiss just had the reverse alert on M15, which is good. So we've got some bearish price action coming in finally. Euro pound is just pulling back at the moment. So I really don't like this euro pound at the minute. It's still a buy. I mean, it's, I don't know. I'm just not very convinced at the moment by this one. Pound US dollar. Again, it's just still going sideways. Hopefully, what I'd like actually today is a little bit of a rally. Because then hopefully New York will tank it. Could do with a strong US dollar this afternoon. And US dollar CAD. So all this is just sitting sideways at the minute. We're not really going anywhere on anything. So I'm just monitoring and managing all this lot, and I will add in as required. unlikely to get a position on this today. 47. So we've got to do a yesterday's low sweep for me to get into a second on this one today. Other than that, we're just flip-flopping around within ADRs, aren't we? Which is why I've been pretty much here all week, haven't I? One of those weeks this week. Pain in the backside. Right, that's all I've got for you today. I will be back this afternoon at 2:20. We'll have a look at NASDAQ. I will post, obviously, if anything progresses on these today. As I say, I'm not looking to take any new trades. The EA is set up to get me in to all these that I'm managing. The only other thing that I am looking to get long on, let me just quickly check. So I have Aussie New Zealand shorts, which I'm already in, obviously. Euro Swiss, I'm looking to get in longs. Euro Pound, obviously, I'm in. New Zealand CAD, I'm looking to get in longs. Again, that's on retail sentiment, but I need to be extended on RSI. US dollar CAD, I'm already in. Pound US dollar, I'm already in. And CAD Swiss, I'm already in. So the only other positions I'm looking to get into are New Zealand dollar CAD and Euro Swiss. So New Zealand dollar CAD, obviously that's a massive sentiment long at the moment. That's the biggest one out there. Can't spell. D. So that's a big sentiment buy at the moment, New Zealand dollar CAD. So I'm looking to get in on that, but I want an RSI extension to the downside. So I need this basically to come down towards that double bottom or sweep that liquidity today. If we can get down to there, I shall get in long. And Euro Swiss, looking for longs on that one. So I got out of all my longs. I'm looking to get back in on that, on any kind of pullback RSI hourly. Missed it there, just missed it there. But that's what I'm looking for. A deep pullback, probably into that propulsion area there. So an ADR hit to the downside, RSI extension, anything like that, I'll be getting in long on that as well. Other than that, I'm not really interested in anything else in a minute. I am interested in speeding up the speed of actually passing this valuation account because it's taken ages. But this is what I'm testing, isn't it? Position trading. Position trading on prop. It's proving problematic in time. Right, I will be back this afternoon. Anything you need, Telegram group. Otherwise, have a good morning and I will see you then.